They weren't cold when you put them in, were they?
Nope. That's a lot of
Jim!
No, I like the feel of cold steel.
Have you learned about reverse yet?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Benji, man. Like, you know, when in doubt, gas it, you know.
I was a young stunt coordinator doing stuff, and a friend of mine, or a mentor of mine actually, Bobby Bass, called me one day and wanted me to take a pause and come work with him and double an actor who'd just come up from Australia, who's very big and had done one big action show and he felt was as he said, this is going to be a great move for you. You need to meet this guy and be his double. And it was Mel Gibson.
We need to pick up.
One here coming into the lens. Wide, really wide, 17. Exactly.
Well, I notoriously shot Cotton Club for Coppola. I wasn't in the union, and I was trying to get in, of course. And you couldn't work unless you were in the union. It wasn't easy to get in. And Lethal was bubbling around, and I got an interview with Dick. We just got on like a house on fire. Really, and with Mike Reaver, who was there. Dick just said, I wanted Stephen, and he wanted me in the union, and they got me in.
We're here with Ferd Henry. Ferd.
I've been here for 15 days, and I've never seen a movie being shot before.
Ferd here sells used furniture back in Oklahoma. He has a couple of reptile farms in Arizona, and he's made it out west to break in the business.
I got a two-headed alligator.
I first met Dick outside of Amblin. They were interviewing production designers for a big kids movie called Goonies, and we talked about it for 5 or 10 minutes, and I said, well, he was called in, and shortly thereafter I was called in, and it was the same guy. It was Dick Donner. So we hit it off right at the beginning and went through Goonies and had a terrific time. And then he called me up to do this small little kind of police thriller, which had very little money. And so we started talking about it, and he asked me to do it.
And I thought it was pretty cool that here we are in LA doing a Christmas movie. Just the idea of it was just fresh and unique.
Remember, we almost got killed by everybody.
Yeah.
We put the
jingle bells.
We put the Christmas decorations up on Hollywood Boulevard before Thanksgiving, and
confused everyone.
Everybody got upset with the city.
People started having acid flashbacks.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because it was a story about 2 LA cops. Where else can you shoot it? And
Toronto.
Yeah. They didn't have that building to jump off of. It was indigenous to what the script was, and it was a sin to even think about moving.
What we embraced was this kind of 60s way of dealing with this stuff. Use as many real locations as possible. Don't wait for the light to be beautiful, just shoot it. It is LA, and LA looks great when it's from overhead light, And I think that informed the whole process. Every department, it kind of kept it out. It was very difficult to try and pull off, but Dick insisted that we do it, and we did. We figured out how to do it.
Come on, you want me to drive? No, you're supposed to be suicidal, remember? I'll drive. Let's get in the car. Is suicidal.
I'd never seen LA depicted, really, in a thriller movie where you just got to see the various sights and sounds. You get all of Mulholland and the basin of Los Angeles as seen from Dick's house. You got thriller with a chase on Hollywood Boulevard at the end. I hadn't seen that.
There's a bleakness to it. There's an impersonality to it. There's a, as I said, there's a brightness to it, which I love. Feels like you can do anything in Los Angeles. It's a little different than New York, which has more texture and more neighborhoody stuff. LA is kind of this blank canvas, and it's great to go out and try and find interesting locations.
That was Long Beach.
Yeah, you're right.
Was it where that girl went out the window?
Yeah, you can't trust air you can't see.
That camera shot.
Oh, we were so lucky We had a camera rolling on that. She was a nice girl. I'm so
Yeah, too
sorry.
bad, yeah.
We
I would have liked to have gotten to know her.
Me too.
Not in a biblical way.
No,
but,
just it was just hi. Gosh, these are flashbacks.
Boy, aren't they?
Yeah.
We kicked off with this idea of the girl's fall, and that began it, really, because it was an adventurous way to open the film.
This was before digital effects and visual effects. And so early on, Stephen Goldblatt and I had discussed that we would try and get this wonderful kind of floating death as opposed to this violent thing, which is so much easier to do.
Then we thought, well, what if we could get the same girl we've just seen climb out on the balcony, fall past the lens to the car below? And so we used an old trick.
We picked a location and we looked down at night at the location to see what it was. And we took a photograph of one car down there. And then I went back to the studio and I had these great guys at Warner Brothers, Ed Strang and his father. They painted us this beautiful backing out of canvas that was exactly that picture. And we stretched it across a big airbag.
This is the first movie for me where it was kind of like the gloves are off and you could kind of experiment. If we said, hey, we need a 60-foot cherry picker to teach this girl how to fall into an airbag, which would have, on other movies, would have been like, actresses aren't doing any of that stuff. You know, we'll throw a dummy. It's like all the filmmakers, Donner, Joel Silver, everybody was like, we have faith in you guys. Let's push the envelope here, and that's what we did.
She would hold on to these wires and then let go and fall away from us into this bag. And they taught the actual person how to do it because we didn't do face replacement and all that stuff.
She just went past two lenses and just fell towards what looked like a car on the sidewalk.
And we did it in slow motion, and you can just see it, her gown flutters as she goes down.
And then as her back just touched the painting, it cuts inside, and you have a ram just pushes the metal down. And it's a shocking moment. It's an interesting sequence.
And I got the backing of Dick Donner. If we wanted to change something because of safety concerns, he never had a problem with it. He knew how to reshoot or what he was going to use editorially.
You know, working these big movies, man, you got to be like a general, man. You got to, not only do you have to know what you're doing artistically, you have to be a leader of men. You're like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. Donner knew exactly what he was doing, man.
Everybody listen, because this will be the countdown. Shut up! Hey! Listen up! My department? My guild? Okay, Danny gets shot, right? Danny lobs the grenade. As soon as he lobs the grenade, I'm sorry, you're right. Danny lobs the grenade. Turns around, fires, pang, takes him. You've got grenade, he's running inside. Danny's ducking here, right?
Well, Donner has this thing over his door when you go into his office, and it says, leave your ego at the door.
And Mel wrote on it, yeah, because there's so much inside already.
No.
I still have that.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Because there's a big one in there already.
Oh, yeah.
Something I
didn't want to brag.
But no, that's the truth. And you say, as the director of this film, and he says, I'm just a traffic cop, but that's bullshit. He actually fucking orchestrates the stuff, and, he's being too modest.
Go.
Roll cameras, action. Camera? How was that? Huh? Cut it. How was that?
It was okay. Not very good.
I'm not watching. What happened?
We lost it.
Let me see it. Let me see it played back. Not bad.
Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Quite interesting. What are you talking about? It's great.
Yeah. How was B camera?
B camera, did you get anything?
What do you have?
B, what did you get?
B camera said yes, they did.
Okay, sir. And they got the man on the ground?
I took Mick coming up, running, jumping on the hood, getting shot and rolling off.
And you got him on the ground?
Yes, on the ground.
You're sensational. We got it here for a crazy shot. My back just went.
Okay.
He sets a tone, which I think is what the main job of a director do. He knows what the picture he's trying to make, and he sets that tone. The dangerous thing comes when the tone sort of wobbles all over the place, and then you're not sure what the movie's about. But Dick knows what it's about.
We do this my way. You shoot to kill. You get as many as you can. All you gotta do is just not miss. I won't miss. We're gonna get bloody on this one, Roger.
I read tons of cop novels, man. I love those characters, those plotters, not the sophisticated, you know, bon vivants, but the guys who just beat the feet, do the legwork, hit the pavement, and solve these crimes. Those were the characters I wanted to capture. I love the French connection for that, the sense of every day, the sense of the blue-collar cop. And to get a pulse and a humanity to it that doesn't come from the Rambo character, where everything is already so heightened and stylized. I like the simple guy.
You know, and it's all Shane Black.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea. I read a script, and it was like, let's go shoot it. Yeah. It was perfect. I mean, these guys did a little improv, but it just came out of character, and things happen.
That big lead, if not very even game. Cook.
When you're playing a depressed character, you know, there's a lot of brooding that goes on, but what people don't get about suicide, depression, things like that, there's a manic quality, a sort of bring it on quality, where, you know, as they're sticking the knife in, they're grinning, you know, saying, what are you gonna do about it?
Hey, okay, clown. No bullshit. You want to kill yourself? Oh, for Christ. Shut up! Yes or no? You want to die? Yes or no? I got the job done. What the hell do you want? You didn't answer the question. Oh, what do you want to hear, man? Do you want to hear that sometimes I think about eating a bullet? Huh? Well, I do. I do. I even got a special one for the occasion with a hollow point. Look, make sure it blows the back of my goddamn head out. Do the job right.
It was a conscious decision to make Riggs as isolated from the world as possible in every facet of the design. The motorhome seemed appropriate. The place where he was living seemed appropriate. It was a forgettable location. Costumes, props, everything else was not important to him. Everything about Riggs was temporary. He was only here for a few more weeks, frankly. If Murtaugh hadn't come into his life, we all felt that he would have offed himself. In fact, in the first, few minutes, you see him about to kill himself.
We had that scene to shoot, and it was in a trailer. It was Mel's trailer. And then the evening we went to shoot it, it just wasn't happening. Just you weren't pleased with it, so...
But you know what it was? It was written as pills.
Was it?
It was written as he takes a handful of pills. I said, a cop doesn't kill himself with sleeping pills. Cops are like, they use the service revolver, man. That's what a cop does. And I remember we switched it over and said, let's just, try it with his service weapon,
Which was a great scene. But anyway, we carried that piece of the trailer. We cut it off. And great prop man.
Oh, Eric.
Eric Nelson.
Eric Nelson.
Great guy. And every evening around 5 o'clock, he'd say, I think Mr. Gibson would like to do the scene in the trailer. Because they were carrying it around wherever we went on the back of trucks. So one day, I said, he'll let us know. And sure enough, one day Mel said to me, hey, you got that?
Where's that trailer?
Trailer? I said, yeah. I said, bang, and the guys had it set up and ready to go. We went to that trailer. It was just the operator and myself.
And a car.
Mel did this scene with the gun.
Yeah.
The camera was shaking because I'm crying, the operator's crying, and I started to get worried about Mel because he had the gun in his hand and he was
it wasn't loaded.
Going like, no, but you hit yourself with it.
Oh, right.
And this was after the take was really over. I couldn't take it anymore, so I just ran in, pulled it out of his hand, and
that's enough.
And held him because I thought, and then he just looked at me and laughed. He said, how was that?
Well, I don't think you can really do anything like do stuff like that unless you're absolutely happy doing it. There's a kind of a joy underneath and a relaxation with letting something like that just happen that that is our supposed sphere of expertise. So it's like it's a good feeling. I was perfectly happy. I mean, it looks like I'm like, but like inside I'm like laughing.
Danny brought that grounding to the movie, that human quality. Mel could be a little over the top, and Danny would ground it. He was us in the movie reacting to this other character saying, oh my God, I can't, please, not on the ledge, no. I mean, that's what was so great about his characters. He, in a sense, was the audience reacting.
The more contrast we could get between the two of them, the better for us. Murtaugh's life is a cacophony of texture and people in various stages of growing up in the family.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy.
Because the family was still evolving.
Yeah.
Your children were growing and they were starting to be individuals. Everything. And your house. Do you remember you were tearing your kitchen apart?
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't walking into a set that everything was perfect.
Yeah.
I think Riva came up with that, and it was brilliant that they're on the move. They're evolving.
Yeah.
He's changing the kitchen, but he's never there to do it.
The respect that Dick showed me as a writer was considerable, and it included saying, yeah, they're going to maybe improvise a little bit here, but, you know, he'd make sure that it was okay, you know. He wanted me to be comfortable with what was going on.
Alfred, not to pat ourselves on the back, but people are always trying to imitate what happened.
Yeah.
And what happened organically, what happened at a particular point in time when people were able to embrace the kind of relationships, embrace these characters, these two people, and have fun with them. And have some, and we came into people's homes, so people felt as if they got to know us in a different way.
You know, there's no way I'm going to jump off an 11-story building into a little bag that looks like a postage stamp down there. I mean, come on. That's an act of an insane person or someone who has managed to condition their minds through time and exercise into making it not an insane action. Like Mickey is probably one of the most sane people I've met.
I loved having breakfast at a place in Santa Monica, and above it is a carpet showroom, and it's this white building against blue skies. And I took Mike and I took Dick there to say, wouldn't it be great if we did the suicide walk back here? We can actually, you know, we can rig a Lumicrane on the roof. We can go right over. We can see the street below. We can see Hollywood all around. And then, you know, for close-ups, we can easily build a parapet.
Just in terms of story, you know, that a guy'd be crazy enough to handcuff the jumper and then drag him off the roof. That's a Donner thing, you know, like, let's go for it, you know. And the fact that he turns to a stunt coordinator like Bobby Bass says, how do we do that? I mean, it was a big deal. And Bass was just like, no, it's totally, nothing was a problem. We just needed a little time to figure it out.
Just jump.
Ready.
Just jump, eh?
Ready. You're in it.
Oh,
give me a little lead up.
Yeah. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Stick it in your hand.
Look. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Wait.
Well, you know, Dar Robinson was the premier high fall guy in the business. So it made sense that Bobby would call him to, you know, help us with the high fall. So we get there on the day and we're going to do the high fall. You know, it's 110 feet. We're going to be handcuffed together. You know, and so we're standing on the roof and we're talking about something. And the breeze came up Santa Monica and hit us. And it ran down the building and picked the airbag up and moved it out in the street about like 30, 40 feet in like a second. And I looked at him and he kind of went, like, I go, well, I'm not a, math whiz, but technically we could step off this building and that thing move before we hit the ground. He goes, oh, this is not good. And it was a windy day. And we're getting ready to do this thing. So we get like 30, 40 grips. And we have to wardrobe them because they're going to be in the shot like a fireman and stuff. And they're all just trapped the airbag next to the building. And so, when we did this fall, I was like thankful to get it done, that it didn't leave before we actually hit it.
Want to go up again? Let's go again.
We did everything for real. We did the 110-foot high fall. We crashed cars. We did fights for real. No wire work.
We have a stunt here to do with a bus and a car involvement. The bus being the towed vehicle to pull the car into the bus itself, the bus being the towed vehicle to create an accident on Hollywood Boulevard in this fashion here with cables. Point of impact, hopefully the car will flip over on its backside and that should be a cut at that point.
Special effects. Who's special effects?
Joe?
Joey. On that side, when he gets hit, are those windows going to break, do you think? Right there, those two car windows, door windows.
Well, I can't say they will. I can say they won't. If that bus is into this part of it right here, they probably will.
They'll break.
If they're rolled down a little, they'll probably break easier.
We do about 3 times. We make slow runs at it just to make sure that we're tuned in with the cables and that the cable's nice and tight so it doesn't make perfect contact with the ramp.
You already Monday night made a bunch of tests. It was
Sunday night,
made a bunch of
right.
tests.
And we'll do it again. Then you're going to see the real thing.
You got him, Mark!
Background action!
Say hello, Bobby, say hello. This is Bobby Bass. Say hello, Bobby. Bobby's been ducking the cops for a long time.
Bobby Bass came on early, and we had all sorts of discussions about the prowess and the stuff that Riggs brought to the table as a guy holding a gun.
Bobby introduced Mel into, like, you know, he showed him, like, sniper work. Then he introduced him to a friend of his, like his partner, David Webster, was an excellent sniper. And so they had to see that a 1,000-yard shot was fully capable. They used to do this demonstration thing at their training facility where Bobby would stand with a little stick, you know, a 3-foot-long, 1-inch wide stick, and hold it up to, like, the students that they were training. And all of a sudden it would explode. And it was David Webster who would shoot the stick from, like, 800 yards away just to prove that they could do it. So once you see that for real, you go, okay, now Mel can believe it, and he can actually play the scene much better because he can believe that he can actually drop a guy from 1,000 yards with not a problem.
Bingo. He was so economical in his movements, and he was, I mean, you felt like you were watching a gunslinger. You felt like you're watching a guy who was very calm, but at any moment he was prepared to do something, you know, to break out.
Have a small gun, will not travel. Let him come to me. Yeah, that's when you know the guy's bad. Let him come to me. I'll be here waiting.
Remember Busey? He may be one of the physically strongest dudes I've ever met.
In the fight?
No, but just physically a powerful man.
Oh, yes.
And it was like, it was hard, man. He'd like, you know, you always connect in fight scenes and stuff a little bit. Sometimes you get like, sometimes you get nailed. You didn't want to get up after this guy got you. And he wasn't doing it on purpose or anything, but it was just like, oops, sorry, man. And it was like, oh, that's okay. Take you a little while to come back.
Shane and I worked the fight out with Bobby Bass for like 3 weeks. And then we started incorporating Mel Gibson and Busey into the mix.
I block here.
No.
You go boom, boom, boom.
We'd pull them out of scenes whenever they had time. They had to come over and learn aspects of the fight in chunks. But we never let them train together, just for safety's sake.
The way we have it broken down, we'll be able to do 10 seconds, 15 at the most.
How long do you think the fight lasts? 3 minutes.
You said you wanted 3 minutes.
About 3 minutes. I figure you're gonna do it all the way through. One.
And one.
You guys will be exhausted at the end of it. That's what it should be.
Yeah, but every now and then you just
You'll do it perfect. You'll do it. I know. In one. Don't you feel better doing it in one? The continuity of it.
Yeah, but
I knew it.
We were given, you know, judo expert, jailhouse rock expert, and capoeira expert to try and incorporate this stuff in there. And I already knew some kendo stuff, which we used mostly with the nightstick and the light pole and that type of thing.
And they'd worked this fight, and it was choreographed, perfect. Every move, everything. And then the night we went to shoot it, it went all to hell.
Night?
It just
took a week.
Happened, but I mean, it just happened. You guys forgot the choreography.
Yeah.
But you had learned all those moves.
Yeah.
And it became totally animalistic, totally survival of the fittest.
Yeah, just something else. Yeah.
Oh,
it was interesting.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it was fun.
Really great fight.
And I was worried about him because he's stripped to the waist and he's blue with cold and teeth chattering. I thought he'd get hypothermia. I said, "You all right, Mel?" He said, "I'll do anything for $1 million." And he meant it. He really wanted to do this well. That helps everybody.
It takes years to become really proficient at that stuff. But hey, fortunately we had a good director and a good editor who knew what pieces to shoot so he could slap it together and make it look like we knew what we were doing.
Stuart Baird, the maestro editor, and he saves all our careers.
You had the light swirling around from the spotlights. That was a great visual idea, and I cut the hell out of that. I really made it as long as I possibly could. And she was so generous to allowing me to do my thing and present it when I was ready, and that's the way I liked it, and and it seemed to work for us.
And I think the tone of it speaks everything about Dick, Smart, profound, funny, and gifted.
Hey, you want to see crazy? I'll tell you.
That's all Donner. I mean, it had that kind of wit and some funny twists and turns and unexpected things happening, and it was a real charming piece of work to watch.
And then raw too. I mean, that scene after he jumps off that building, after Mel jumps off that building, is real raw. I mean, it's just raw. You know what I'm saying? It's just
the confrontation between
the
you
confrontation.
two in that,
yeah,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Dick always wanted that darkness, that suicidal part in it, but he was making a commercial movie, and Dick knows how to make commercial movies.
What's not to like about the experience of having watched great actors in their prime, do the stuff that I'd read and dreamed about since I was a kid, enacting and embodying these detective novels that I devoured when I was 8 years old. It was like watching my dreams.
We all work for the audience. No matter what you do, it's a team sport. You go to work, the audience tells you if you did a good job or not.
What I was most affected by was that the audience seemed to be indiscriminate. It wasn't just a guy's movie or a chick movie or anything, that they all went in and dug it at some level and got into the characters, and that they rolled with it and experienced the humor in it.
You never have a movie open and then it goes up the second weekend. Never. I mean, yes, you can add theaters, you can sometimes, but we open the movie 3-7 and the next weekend 4-1. So people responded to the movie.
This really started off more as an action picture, started to pick up a lot of comedic tones to it, which made it for women, for men, for young people, for older people, for everybody.
The only reason that picture worked is the people. You care about them, you fall in love with them, you're pained with them as they are with each other, and you want to see them make it.
Why don't you try it?
It was funny when it had to be, but it wasn't like trying to be funny. Mel was incredible. Danny was incredible. You just loved him to death. The daughter was kind of hot. What do you want in a movie? What do you want? Friday night. What's better than Lethal Weapon?
The curse of Hollywood is not that 97% of the time everything sucks, which is true, or 97% of the time it goes poorly, your script gets messed, your ideas get twisted, tangled, suppressed, excised. It's not that your actors hate you, everything goes wrong, you can't get a job. 97% of the time, that's not it. The curse of Hollywood is that the 3% of the time when it's good, it is so good.